Hello, I will be deliberating a lecture on the module named as Key Concepts and Definitions. At the very beginning, it is very essential to discuss briefly about the various sections that are included in this module. To begin with, the first section will be dealing with the understanding of the concepts of health and illness. And here we will see how the eminent scholars related to the field define the two different concepts. I will then move on to the second section, which deals with the concept of religion and spirituality. Here, I will try to focus on how religion and spirituality leads to the strengthening of social bonds. In the third section, I will try to speak on the concept of healing and its varied types. The fourth section of my lecture will be on the concept of healing across different time periods. This is followed by the concept of healing in the traditional era in the fifth section, the concept of healing in the medieval era in the sixth section, and the concept of healing in the modern period in the seventh section of my lecture. In the eighth section of my lecture, I will focus on the concept of caregiving and caregivers and portray the difference between the two terms. I will then expatiate on the concept of mental health in the ninth section of my lecture. Coming down to the 10th section of the lecture, I will try to provide a vivid notion on the concept of spiritual healing as an alternative form of healing. Finally, I would like to conclude with the final section of my lecture, that is the 10th section, which deals with the difference between health, healing, and religion. In this section, we will have a brief discussion on the concepts health and illness. According to the World Health Organization, the word health was derived from the Old English word health, which meant a state of being sound and was generally used to infer a soundness of the body. According to the World Health Organization, health may be defined as a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Considering the words of René Dubos, health can be defined as the ability to function. Again, Thomas McQueen notes that the feeling of well-being is more than the apparent absence of disease and disability. Many influences such as religion, social, economy, personal and medical approaches contribute to such a state. Another noted term on which I would like to shed some light is the concept of health behavior. It is an action that is taken by a person to maintain, attain, or regain good health and to prevent illness. Health behavior reflects a person's health beliefs. Some common and noted health behaviors are exercising regularly, eating a balanced diet, and obtaining necessary inoculations. Therefore, systematic activities to prevent or cure health problems and promote good health in humans are undertaken by healthcare providers. Let us come down to the concept of illness. The concept of sickness has two main dimensions, which are disease and illness. Sickness involves the concept that combines the biomedical model, that is disease, with the socio-cultural context of the patient, that is illness. From the sociological parlance, illness involves a subjective state which is united with the concept of an individual's psychological consciousness of having a disease or pain. It can be noted that whenever an individual suffers from any disease, then that person is stigmatized in the society as being ill. Stigma is a mark of disgrace that sets a person apart. When a person is labeled by their illness, they are seen as part of a stereotyped group. Stigma brings experiences and feelings of shame, hopelessness, distress, misrepresentation in the media, and reluctance to seek and accept necessary help. Therefore, health physicians across the world are devising new ways to combat diseases that are affecting the individuals in the society. Let us now understand the concept of religion and spirituality. Religion, according to Peter Mandeville and Paul James, is a relatively bounded system of beliefs, symbols, and practices that addresses the nature of existence and in which communion with others and otherness is lived as if it both takes in, and spirituality transcends socially grounded ontologies of time, space, embodiment, and knowing. Thus, a religion is an organized collection of beliefs, cultural systems, and worldviews that relate humanity to an order of existence. Religion can thus be explained as a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creation of a superhuman agency or agencies, usually involving devotional and ritual observances, and often containing a moral code governing the conduct of human affairs. Religion is also considered as one of the most important agencies of socialization. Children are taught about the values and ethics of their religion when they are young in age. Later in life, it is on the individual himself that whether he would believe in the concept of religion and abide by its rules, or he will remain an atheist throughout his life. Spirituality, on the contrary, means something different to everyone. For some, it's about participating in organized religion, going to church, synagogue, a mosque, etc. For others, it's more personal. Some people get in touch with their spiritual side through prayer, through private prayer, yoga, meditation, quiet reflection, or even long walks. Hauptmann and Oppers presented the view that the modern form of spirituality is the mingling of humanistic psychology, mystical and mysterious traditions with the Eastern religions. Therefore, we can see that religion and spirituality are strikingly different from each other, as religion involves the society and spirituality involves the subjectivity of men. The present section provides information as to what we mean by the term healing. Healing is the process of restoration of health from an unbalanced, diseased, or damaged organism. With physical damage or disease suffered by an organism, healing involves the repair of living tissue, organs, and the biological system as a whole, and resumption of normal functioning. As defined by Burkhardt and Nagai Jacobson, healing is a way of living that flows from, reflects, and nourishes an individual's spirit. When biomedicine fails to restore the health and well-being of an individual, then one resorts to spiritual healing. It helps to uphold one's health. Highlight on meditation. Explicit bodily movements are also emphasized in order to reinstate the physical condition of one's body. There are many types of healing present in society. The different types of healing are mainly magical healing, shamanism, witchcraft, folk healing, Ayurveda, yoga, Reiki, meditation, Tai Chi, spiritual healing, and ritual healing. I will elaborate the different types of healing in accordance with the chronological order in the next part of my lecture. In this section, I will be deliberating on how the healing varied across different time periods. Healing is one of the most widely recognized concepts since time unknown. We can notice that from the time when religion as a vibrant belief of the people emerged in the society, it is since then that people started to look for various avenues in order to heal a sick person. Biomedicine didn't develop during that period, which thus made spiritual healing one of the most demanding trend in the ancient time. Let us now look at the different types of healing in the traditional period. Firstly, let us shed some light on the concept of magic as a source of healing. The art of illusion has captivated people for thousands of years. It is perhaps the oldest of all the performing arts. Primitive drawings of magicians practicing their trade can be found on cave walls in northern Spain and southern France. Magicians performed in the streets and marketplaces. Even today, the concept of magic therapy permeates across many rehabilitative centers. The Scottish anthropologist Sir James G. Fraser first described these two types of magic in his famous book, The Golden Bough. The two types of magic are homeopathic or imitative magic and contagious magic. In the type of homeopathic magic, also called imitative magic, magicians act out or imitate what they want to happen. For example, a fisherman may take a model of a fish and pretend he is netting it. He believes this ritual will assure him a good catch. Contagious magic comes from the belief that after a person has had contact with certain things, they will continue to influence that person. The most common examples of contagious magic involve parts of the body that have been removed, such as fingernails, hair, and teeth. A person's nails and hair supposedly can affect the rest of that person's body long after they have been cut off. Another noted form of healing is shamanism. It is a practice that involves a practitioner reaching altered state of consciousness in order to encounter and interact with the spirit world and channel these transcendental energies into this world. A According to an American psychologist, Stanley Kripper, shamans are community assigned magico religious professionals who deliberately alter their consciousness in order to obtain information from the spirit world. They use this knowledge and power to help and to heal members of their community, as well as the community as a whole. Another form of traditional healing is witchcraft. It broadly means the practice of and belief in magical skills and abilities that are able to be exercised individually by designated social groups or by persons with the necessary esoteric secret knowledge. There are many healing spells which are uttered by the witches in order to bring about healing of an individual and reduce his suffering. Thus, traditionally, one could find many ways of healing, but as society shifted from traditional to medieval period, similarly, the healing practices also changed its course in the medieval period. We will now study the healing practices that were prevalent in the medieval period. The different healing mechanisms are firstly Ayurveda. Ayurvedic medicine is a system of Hindu traditional medicine of Vedic tradition. The oldest known Ayurvedic texts are the Sushruta Samhita and the Charaka Samhita, where the healing techniques are compiled together. People in the medieval era used to believe Dhanvantari as the god of Ayurveda. Its adherents strive to create harmony between the body, mind and spirit, maintaining that this balance prevents illness, treats acute conditions and contributes to a long and healthy life. Since Ayurveda is a holistic and natural system of healing, it is only to be expected that the simplest and the most common place of items shall be used as ingredients for creating effective cures for preventing day-to-day ailments. The main herbs that are used are neem, tulsi, rita, shikakai, amla, brahmi, and so on. The second form of healing in the medieval period is yoga. Yoga is physical, mental, and spiritual practices or disciplines that aims to transform body and mind. Yoga gurus from India later introduced yoga to the West following the success of Swami Vivekananda in the late 19th and early 20th century. Studies show that people who practice yoga have reduced anxiety, are more resistant to stress, and have lower blood pressure, more efficient heart function, better respiratory function, and above all, improved physical fitness. The third form of healing practice is a technique commonly called palm healing or hands-on healing, which is often recognized as a form of alternative medicine and is sometimes classified as Oriental medicine by some professional medical bodies. Reiki uses the process to touch the diseased parts of the body, massaging them, tapping them lightly, stroking them, blowing on them, fixing gaze upon the people for 2 to 3 minutes, and specifically giving them energy. Through the use of this palm healing, practitioners believe that they are transferring universal energy, that is Reiki, in the form of ki through the palms that allows for self-healing and a state of equilibrium. The fourth form of healing is meditation. To attain a perfect state of health, one has to remain mentally calm, steady, and emotionally stable. Prana, the vital life energy, is the very basis of health and well-being for both body and mind. You can gain prana through meditation. When your body is alive with more prana, you feel alert, energetic, and full of good humor. A lack of prana results in lethargy, dullness, and poor enthusiasm. Thus, meditation helps to heal the individuals from their ailments such as depression, blood pressure, anxiety, and so on. The final form of healing in the medieval period is the practice of Tai Chi. Tai Chi Chuan has been reported as being useful in treating a number of ailments and is supported by a number of associations, including the National Parkinson Foundation and Diabetes Australia. Tai Chi releases the healing chemicals without using them up. The human body produces chemicals which are then utilized by the body to heal the other parts of the body where damage has occurred. Therefore, it leads to a certain kind of fulfillment among the individuals. Therefore, from the traditional period came the medieval period, after which came the modern period. Thus, time flagged by, and keeping at par with the change in time, the healing practices changed too. But these practices of attaining healing of an individual did not perish away with changing times. Healing mechanisms also developed in the modern century. A few healing mechanisms that can be cited are, firstly, spiritualism. Spiritualism endows one with mental comfort to individuals by which healing energy is transferred into the human beings. It produces an energy within them which makes them to have the fervor to do their utmost in life. The second form of healing in the modern era is the process of ritual healing. Ritual healing is a form of traditional or alternative medicine rooted in spiritual or religious practices. Ritual healing can involve a wide range of ceremonies and materials depending on the culture and may be used to treat physical, mental, or emotional problems. For example, Sangomas are traditional healers in South Africa who use medicinal herbs, drumming, and animal sacrifice to summon the spirits of the ancestors, treat disease, and address other concerns in the community. In this section, I will discuss the concept of caregiving and caregivers and point out the difference between these two terms. A caregiver or carer is an unpaid or paid person who helps another individual with impairment with his or her activities of daily living. Any person with health impairment might use caregiving services to address their difficulties. Caregiving is mainly used to address impairments which are related to old age, disability, a disease, or a mental disorder. Typical duties of a caregiver might include taking care of someone who has a chronic illness or disease, managing medications, or talk to doctors and nurses on someone's behalf, helping to bathe or dress someone who is frail or disabled, or taking care of household chores, meals, or bills for someone who cannot do these things on his own. Thus, the process of caregiving through the caregivers brings about the psychological well-being of the individuals. Sometimes the caregivers too needs caregiving, as they too are human beings and thus needs healing at times due to different situations. One can notice that religion in itself acts as the caregivers, while the followers of the religious ethics are the care receivers. This section provides information as to what we mean by mental health. Mental health is a level of psychological well-being. It is the psychological state of someone who is functioning at a satisfactory level of emotional and behavioral adjustment. According to World Health Organization, mental health includes subjective well-being, perceived self-efficacy, autonomy, competence, intergenerational dependence, and self-actualization of one's intellectual and emotional potential, among others. A person struggling with his or her behavioral health may face stress, depression, anxiety, relationship problems, grief, and addiction. Studies have shown that the concept of heartbreak is true. When an individual suffers from heartbreaks, that is, emotional breakdown, leads to symptoms that can mimic a heart attack. Therefore, healing is very much essential in order to keep one's mental health strong and able to withstand any challenges. Mental health of an individual can be healed if one entrusts their faith on religion. Then one can accrue healing benefits, which can keep his mental health in a stable condition, as it provides solace to the mind of the individuals. The present section provides a vivid notion of spiritual healing as an alternative form of healing. Energy medicine, energy therapy, energy healing, or spiritual healing is a branch of alternative medicine holding the belief that a healer can channel healing energy into a patient. Spiritual healing is largely non-denominational. Traditional religious faith is not seen as a prerequisite for effecting a cure. Another form of mental healing involves visualizing your immune cells winning a fight against harmful viruses, bacteria, or cancer cells. One way to do this is to visualize your immune cells engulfing and destroying, for example, any harmful virus particles in your body. You can combine this with the spiritual healing techniques by retorting to oneself statements as, "And the healing light of God shines down upon me. It permeates my entire being, healing me physically and emotionally. It dissolves away anger and fear and fills me with love and forgiveness." Hence, attaining spiritual healing acts as an alternative state of medicine for the individuals. Let us now look at the three main variables that are health, healing, and religion, and how they are different from each other. Health is the level of functional or metabolic efficiency of a living organism. In humans, it is the general condition of a person's mind and body, usually meaning to be free from illness, injury, or pain. The World Health Organization defined health in its broader sense in 1946 as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Healing, on the other hand, is the process of the restoration of health from an unbalanced, diseased, or damaged organism. Similarly, the term religion denotes an organized collection of beliefs, cultural systems, and worldviews that relate humanity to an order of existence. The three terms are very much striking from each other, as health is the physical well-being of the individual. Healing is an internal factor which is often promoted by different religions in different ways.